Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another tier list video on Zero Sievert. Today we're going to be taking a look at DMRs. Really quick here before we get started, just a couple refreshers. Um, the Wikipedia page is not up to date currently with this information, so what I had to do is go into the game and compile all this information myself. Another refresher here, all the green numbers you'll see on your screen, those are going to be best in class, or tied for best in class. The white numbers are going to be somewhere in the middle. And the red numbers are going to be either worst in class or tied for worst in class. As well as I know that some people refer to the SCOP H and the ATV 40 as assault rifles. But all of these weapons that I have right here, these are all going to be in the same range class. They're all, they have better range profiles than the assault rifles and worse range profiles than the sniper rifles. They all have the same exact range profile, and for that reason, I'm going to be counting all of these as DMRs for the purpose of this video. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, starting off here with CMKM, we're going to have an ammo type of 7.62 by 39. Penetration is going to be 14, 16, 31, or 58, depending on which ammo type you take. If you take that 14 penetration bullet, it will be tied for worst in class with the Backto MKM. Damage is going to be 24. That's actually going to be worst in class. If you take the ammo type that specializes in damage, that's going to be 28, rounded up. That's also worst in class. And if you take the ammo type that specializes in penetration, that damage is going to be 21 rounded down, which is, again, that's going to be worst in class for that one as well. Accuracy is going to be 86. Again, that's worst in class. Recoil is 135. Ergonomics is 25. Magazine size is going to be 10. That's tied for worst in class with the SCB 40, FRD, and the ATV 40 as well. Fire rate's going to be 360, and it's sold by the barman for 17,620 rubles. This one's actually pretty easy here. The MKM is going to go into F tier. It's got the worst stats in the game. It does not help it that it's limited by its magazine size either. Its damage is pretty poor. Nothing really special about the MKM. It doesn't really have any redeeming qualities. It is one of the first like DMRs that you can get in the game. But I would not recommend it anything past the very early game. Moving on to the Backto MKM, we've got a ammo type of 7.62 by 39. Penetration is going to be 14, 16, 31, or 58, depending on which ammo type you take. And again, if you take that ammo type that has the 14 penetration, that is going to be tied for worst in class with the MKM. We've got a damage of 26. If you take the ammo type that specializes in damage, it's going to be 30 rounded down. And if you take the ammo type that specializes in penetration, it's going to be 23 rounded up. Accuracy is going to be 88. Recoil is 110. That's actually going to be best in class by itself there. Ergonomics is going to be 44. Again, that's also best in class by itself. Magazine size is 20. It shares best in class there with the N10 as well as the SCOP H. And then the fire rate's 450, and it is sold by the Green Army for 43,700 rubles. For me, I'm going to put the Backto MKM up in C, okay, or mid. Its stats are just very middling. It's not a bad one, that's for sure. But I don't think it's nearly as good as something like the SCOP H or the FRD, or even like the N10. So yeah, for that reason, I'm going to keep it in C tier. All right, moving on to the N10 here, we've got 7.62 by 51 ammo type. Penetration is going to be 29, 40, or 65, depending on which ammo type you take. If you do take the 65 ammo type, that's going to be tied for best penetration in class. With it, SCOP H, damage is going to be 29. If you take the ammo type that specializes in damage, it's going to be 33 rounded down. That's actually going to be tied for best in class as well with SCOP H. If you take the ammo type that specializes in penetration, it's going to be 25 rounded up. Accuracy is 91. Recoil is going to be 167. Ergonomics is 34. Magazine size is going to be 20. That's tied for best in class with the Backto MKM as well as the N10. And then we've got the fire rate of 450, and it's sold by the Crimson Corporation for 35,900 rubles. And for me, I'm going to put the N10 all the way up in A tier. Great. For me, the N10 is the most like sniper rifle-y DMR that you can have. It does very, very high damage. It is meant for more of like single like semi-auto shots, and not so much like spamming it like some of these other ones you'll see here. I would recommend it for anything other than the SCOP H, or over anything other than the SCOP H, just because it does have the highest penetration, tied with the SCOP H, as well as the damage that it puts out is really, really good. It's super accurate, and it does have a 20 magazine capacity, so it can kind of take on a lot of things at once. It does fire pretty fast as well. So yeah, A tier for that one. All right, moving on now to the STV-40. We've got an ammo type of 7.62 by 54R. Penetration is going to be 32 or 57, depending on which ammo type you take. Damage is going to be 32. If you take the ammo types that specializes in damage, you'll be getting still 32. If you take the ammo type that specializes in penetration, you'll be getting 29 rounded up. Accuracy is 95. So that's going to be best in class, tied with the ATV-40. Recoil is going to be 180. That's going to be worst in class, again tied with the ATV-40. Ergonomics is going to be 21. That is, again, tied for worst in class with ATV-40. Magazine size is 10, and that is going to be tied for worst in class with the MKM, the FRD, and the ATV-40. Fire rate is going to be 240, and that's sold by the Green Army for 22,320 rubles. So for me, the STV-40 is going to be a D tier. It is better than the MKM for sure, but it's not able to hold a candle up to any of these other DMRs. I do think that it's nice that it does have really good accuracy, 95, but it's got low damage, low fire rate, only 10 bullets in the magazine. It's not worth it in comparison to these other higher up ones. All right, moving on to the FRD now. We've got an ammo type of 7.62 by 54. Penetration is going to be 32 or 57, depending on which ammo type you take. Damage is going to be 33. That's going to be best in class all by itself. The ammo type that specializes in damage is going to be giving you 32. If you take the ammo type that specializes in penetration, that's going to be 30 rounded up. And that's actually best in class. Accuracy is going to be 93. Recoil is 178. Ergonomics are 25. Magazine size is going to be 10. That's going to be tied for worst in class with the MKM, as well as the STV-40 and the ATV-40. Now, fire rate's going to be 240, and it's sold by the Green Army for 40,470 rubles. And for me, the FRD is actually going to go in B tier. I'm not sure why so many people love this gun. It's okay. It's not bad, but like it's just very middling stats. It's pretty slow firing. It's only got 10 bullets in the magazine. The damage is good, but not good enough to make up for its shortcomings, I think. So I'm going to keep that in B tier. All right, moving on to the SCOP H now. We've got an ammo type of 7.62 by 51. Penetration is going to be 29, 40, or 65, depending on which ammo type you take. If you do take the 65 penetration ammo type, it will be tied for best in class with the N10. Damage is going to be 25. If you choose the ammo type that specializes in damage, it's going to be 33 rounded down. That's going to be best in class. Again, that's tied with the N10. If you take the ammo type that specializes in penetration, it's going to be 21 rounded down. The accuracy is going to be 87. Recoil is 116. ergonomics of 43. Magazine size is going to be 20. That's tied for best in class with the Backto MKM as well as the N10. Fire rate's going to be 600, and that is best in class all by itself. Sold by the Crimson Corporation for 41,450 rubles. This one for me is going to be an S God tier. I personally run Scop H on all of my playthroughs. As soon as I can get my hands on it, it is a lifesaver. I would recommend it over an assault rifle. Actually, normally run a Scop H and a sniper rifle. But yeah, it's super, super good. You can put it in full auto as well, which is something that only 2 of these DMRs can do. So being able to switch between semi-auto and then full auto in buildings is super, super great, as well as being able to have the extra range over the assault rifles. That 600 fire rate makes it feel like an assault rifle sometimes as well, and the 20 magazine size, as well as having the highest penetration in the category. It just catapults it all the way up to S tier. So yeah. And last but not least, we've got the ATV 40. The ATV 40 is going to be an ammo type of 7.62 by 54R, penetration of 32 or 57, depending on which ammo type you take. Damage is going to be 32. If you take the ammo type that specializes in damage, it's still going to be 32. The ammo type that specializes in penetration is going to give you 29, rounded up. Accuracy is going to be 95. That's actually tied for best in class with the STV 40. Recoil is going to be 180. That's tied for worst in class with the STV 40. Ergonomics is going to be 21. Again, that's tied for worst in class with the STV 40. Magazine size is going to be 10. That's tied for worst in class with the MKM, the STV 40, and the FRD. And then the fire rate is going to be 225, and that is going to be worst in class all by itself. This one's sold by the Green Army for 31,820 rubles. And this one also is going to be either semi-auto or full auto, just like the Scop H. However, this one is going to be a C tier, okay, or mid for me. I think that the ATV 40 is kind of useless, just in the sense that it is better. It is better than the SGV 40, just in the sense that it is able to pull off the fully automatic. However, you've only got 10 ammo capacity with it, and it is super inaccurate compared to the Scott H when you're going full auto. You can maybe get 2 bullets off in a row on target before they're just shooting all over the place. So yeah, I would recommend only taking it over something like the STV 40 or the MKM. But yeah. All right, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It really helps the channel grow, as well as it does take quite a long time to compile all the info for these videos and put them together. And let me know in the comments which tier list video you would like to see next. And I will get that started as soon as possible. I really appreciate it, guys. You have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. And yeah, bye.